Today, I want to share with you a science experiment that is going to completely empower you and just make you realize that you are in control of your life. It's called the DNA phantom effect. This is a peer-reviewed science experiment from the early 90s. Conducted by Papoin and Gariev. They wanted to test the behavior of DNA and photons, which is essentially light, and to see how it affects the environment around us. So a vessel is used. All of the air is completely drawn out of it. And it's essentially empty, but it's not completely empty because there's little photons still left in there. And photons are the smallest measurement of light. They take those photons and they measure what they're doing inside, and they're creating a complete random pattern, which is what they expected. And then this is where it gets really interesting. They decide to put DNA inside of this vacuum to see how it affects the photons. Now you have to remember, photons are essentially the fundamental of what our world is made of. And DNA is essentially what humans are made of. So they're taking the stuff that the world's made of and the stuff that humans are made of and seeing how they affect each other. And they ask this question: how does our inner world, which is represented by the DNA, affect our outer world, which is represented by the photons? As soon as the DNA was placed inside the vessel, the photons were no longer random and disorganized. They began to order themselves and organize themselves to mimic the geometric pattern of the DNA. The DNA literally changed the photons and was having a direct effect on them. The stuff that you and I are made of has a direct effect on photons and the stuff that this world is made of. And here's where it gets even more exciting. Then they removed the DNA from the vessel, and they expected the photons to go back into a random pattern, but instead they maintained the structure of the DNA. The scientists were absolutely astonished to see that the DNA actually changed the behavior of the photons. Your physical DNA, the essence of who you are, the blueprint of human beings, actually has the power to control the behavior and change the environment around you. That is why I like to say we are powerful creators, and it is scientifically proven. You absolutely cannot dispute the scientific proof that you control your outer world. And I'm super excited about this experiment. I wanted to share it with everyone because I want to empower you. I want you to know how powerful you are, and I want you to believe in it, because none of your manifestations are going to come true unless you truly believe in it. The DNA is what you and I are made of, and your biology is powerful. I want to read this to you because this is the conclusion from the actual scientist. I want you to hear what they said word for word. So the scientist's conclusion was that the light was described as behaving surprisingly counterintuitively. And it's counterintuitive to the scientific belief that everything is separate from everything else, when actually everything's connected. And they go on further to say, quote, "We are forced to accept the possibility that some new field of energy is being excited by the DNA. It's not really a new field. It's a field that's always been there that science is starting to recognize. Science now confirms that DNA influences the light around you by communicating directly through the field. Your DNA affects your environment. So if you're feeling frustrated or you're feeling stuck, just be empowered by knowing that you're in control and you can make changes." I hope this science experiment empowers you in the way that it has me, because my belief is stronger than ever. I just want everyone to know that they are the creators of their reality. I hope you learned something from this. I'll put more information in the description below in case you want to look it up for yourself. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment, let me know. Subscribe, share it, and I'll see you next week.